reminder, I do not post videos for Fridays because it's basically me just saying, hey, and go ahead and get started on your quiz. And then also, in case you didn't hear me throughout the week, a reminder, every single one of your assignments from this week, I'm leaving open until tomorrow at midnight. So if you haven't got something done this week, don't freak out, just get it done. Even if it says late, I'm not marking it late. I just want you guys to have time to get them in. But it does have to be turned in by 11:59 on Friday, which is tomorrow. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on your characterization activity. And then just to make life easier for you guys, I put in a PDF version, I put in the PowerPoint version, and I put in the Google version. You use whatever's easiest for you. Reminder, PDF is really only going to work the best if you're using an iPad and you want to use markup feature. If you're using a laptop like me or anything else, then choose PowerPoint or Google Docs. And again, if you're using a Mac and you open PowerPoint, you don't have to use PowerPoint. You can use the Mac's version of that, and that's perfectly fine. This is what it looks like when you open it. So let's go ahead and open that. I'm going to open it up on my computer. Give it just a second. So this is what it looks like. When you open it up in PowerPoint or Google Slides, you can just triple click here like we usually do in our IN notes. And then what I did was I gave you all kinds of samples of words that you can use that are characterization words. So you're going to write whichever character from Tangerine that you want. You choose, guy, girl, doesn't matter. And you're going to put who that person is in the middle. And this time we're talking about actual indirect and direct characterization. So remember, just as a reminder, let's go back over here. Direct characterization is when the author is literally stating something about them, and indirect is if somebody else is talking about them or it's just not direct. So if Edward Bloor said the artistic Paul, then that's direct characterization. But if he said Paul is sitting over on a bench drawing a beautiful picture of a tree, well, then you've got to read into it and see that Paul is artistic. So that is indirect. So what you're going to do is you're going to put examples of direct characterization, and that's super easy. So you're looking for any time. So say you choose Paul's mom. So you put Paul's mom here, and then you'd put anytime Paul talks about her, like if he's saying that she's super picky about the way things are, you know, because she's like, she has to have everything clean. And like, even in the prologue, she like made him take the bag of trash outside because God forbid somebody see that they left like a straw inside of the house that they were leaving. And he talks about that. So if he says she's super clean, you would write direct characterization. If she says she made him carry a bag out of trash that they were moving, you would put that in actions. When mom talks and she says anything about like being clean or just the way that she is, and it's proof of what you're saying, then you're going to put that in dialogue. Oops, sorry about that, guys. And then you're going to explain what she looks like over here and other characters' reactions to her. So definitely anytime Paul reacts to her or says things about her, you would put that in here. If anybody else reacts to her, like, ugh, like where Paul says, if he's saying somebody else is like rolling their eyes at her, then you would put that that person did that. And then you're not going to have private thoughts for any character except for Paul. So if you don't choose Paul here, you don't have to do this. If you do choose Paul, you're going to have to do this, because the only person that you're going to have private thoughts for, because this book is written in first person, would be Paul. And I'm not making you do Paul, so you may choose whoever you like. In the center, I want you guys to put the name of the person, and then I want you to put some of the characterization traits. So pick some of these in here. So like if you were doing Eric, you would totally put like thoughtless, quick-tempered, conceited, devious. Any of those words would work to put in here in the center. And you can just take this and copy it, and then like here, I'll show you. If I put Command C, then Command V, it gave me another one, and I can just put it here. So I would put like devious right here, because Eric is definitely devious. And then if I want another one, you're going to pick some other words up here. Eric is thoughtless. So I would put thoughtless here. So if you choose Eric, I'm going to give you another example. Then direct characterization is anything Paul says that's negative about Eric. So if he says Eric is really a jerk, then you would put here, Paul says Eric is jerk, and then put that in quotes and tell me what page it came from. And then actions that Eric does is like anything that he does to Paul. So Paul thinks in the prologue that Eric swung the bat at him, and we don't know that for sure, but you could definitely put that as Paul thinks that this was Eric. And then his physical appearance, what does he look like? Anything that Eric actually says that would prove any of the characterization that you put in the middle. And remember, like, Eric is definitely like manipulative. So anything Eric says that could be considered manipulative of somebody else, you'd put it here. Eric is thoughtless. So you could definitely put his quotes in here about how he was making fun of Mike when Mike died and called him like making fun of his hair and stuff. So you put a quote here because that just proves that he's a thoughtless butthole, basically. And then you don't have to do private thoughts for Eric, again, because this is a first person novel, so the only person you'd write here about is Paul. And then other characters' reactions, that could be Paul's reaction, that could be Eric's friends' reactions, it could be anybody's reactions to things that Eric does, including Joey, because Joey gets upset by things that Eric does as well. So you could put what happened, like how did Joey feel when Eric was making fun of his brother? So it could be any character you want, but you're going to list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different types of traits. Again, you can put these characterization traits into these lines, but I want the name of the character right here. So say if you're doing Eric, you would make sure that you put Eric right here so I know who you're talking about. You could even put Eric right there if you want, and then just have more traits up here. But all these lines need to be filled with traits, and then you need to fill out the rest. One more time, just as a reminder, you do not need to do private thoughts unless you're doing Paul, okay? Only if you're doing Paul. Paul would be the easiest to do for all of this, so it's okay that you have to do the private thoughts. Again, nobody but Paul. Okay, before I let you go, remember you have to do that characterization worksheet. You need to read your 9 pages in Tangerine and then answer your questions. Reminder, make sure your questions are answered in complete sentences. Tomorrow, your quiz is going to be on point of view and indirect and direct characterization. So I'll probably ask you stuff like, what are the 3 types of third person point of view? And then you've got to tell me what those 3 are. I might ask you, is there such a thing as second person point of view? And you need to know that that's false. I might ask you something like giving you an example from Tangerine and asking you if that's indirect or direct characterization. I'm definitely going to ask you about what the definitions are. It could be matching, it could be anything. So just make sure that you know direct and indirect characterization, all 4 points of point of view, and whatever we read in Tangerine this week. I won't be asking you anything but those 3 things. All right, before I let you guys go, does anybody have any questions? Okie dokie. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you for a few minutes tomorrow before you guys take your quiz. Bye, guys.